Hi friends, and welcome to another edition of Spooky Villages. This is a special one. I have one of my unicorn pieces to film here. I have the legendary Department 56 Monsters of the Deep. Before I get into this piece, let me talk a little bit about it. So 2007 is when this piece came out. It was limited edition, limited to 1 year and retired. And due to a myriad of factors, it has been extremely desirable on the collector's market. I mean, there's not a lot of them out there, first off. They are numbered. I think there's 13,000 of them is what the box says that are out there that were produced. The bottom of them is numbered. But one of the things that makes this so cool is the very unique theming on it. And not just the unique theming of it, but how well it was done. First off here, this is not my building. I want to thank a friend who loaned this to me actually to film. She had it and was kind enough to let me film a mint one. I mean, I should say it's completely mint. And thank you very much for allowing me to video this. And as we're talking about Monsters of the Deep, I actually painted a background for this specifically. I just wanted to show that off. Got the little kraken up there, the sea monster. I painted this. I had a lot of fun doing this. So that's the background you're going to see for this and for some other aquatic themed buildings that I have. Just wanted to show that off. All right, guys, here it is. The Department 56 Monsters of the Deep. Check this out. And yeah, you can see here it says Collector's Edition, hand-numbered limited edition of 13,000. This piece has been sought after by me personally for so long. I love the sea. I love the sea. I love sea monsters, really anything nautical. I'm a huge World War II nerd, specifically studying the naval engagements. I love ships, I love reading about them, and I love submarines. Actually, I'm huge into submarines, of course. Whenever I was younger, I read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, in the Nautilus. Pretty much been consumed by it ever since. And hey, what can I say? I'm a Pisces, so I love the water. It just comes natural. The water, the ocean, everything about it, aquatic, I love it all. And so we have Monsters of the Deep, one of the most uniquely themed buildings that's out there. Let's actually just take a look at it. So here it is, guys, before the lights, and it's very important to talk about this with the lights, and I'll show it here in a minute. It's spectacular lit up, but even when it's not lit up, look at the details on this. I'm gonna kind of go around this a couple times, try and be careful with it here. That's an actual, like a textured, like moss. This is Department 56 at its absolute best. When folks talk about Department 56 and Limax and the difference and what a good Department 56 paint job is, this is about as good as fit and finish as any building from Halloween Villaging has ever had right here. Department 56 just knocked this one out of the park. It's very heavy, and I love all the little details here. Look at this harpoon over here. You have this coming out of the windows. Of course, you have like this moss up here, seaweed, that's textured. Up here, this is so cool. I'll talk about this in a minute, the aquarium tank. And of course, you have down here this octopus that's breaking out of the tank, and it looks like there's actually water in there. It's the effect on this and how they built this, the construction is awesome. I should talk about the back of it because the back is very detailed as well. There's this little receiving sign on the back. The texture on it is great. The paint is exquisite. I love the top of it here too. Just check that out. It looks like this dilapidated / haunted old aquarium. And I love the theme. So let me make a critique against it here, or critique it, I should say. This is not necessarily a traditional Halloween building. Okay, let's get that out of the way. When we did a Village Idiots episode last year and talked about hardest to theme pieces, this was one of them. Now, there are some themes this would go with, I think, and go with pretty well. I think you could put this in an amusement park as kind of a crazy attraction, right? You could see this in a haunted amusement park with the sea creatures gone crazy and, a spooky aquarium. You could also put this in a town if you wanted. This would go with like the Limax Zoo. There's a couple pieces like that you could theme it with. So it's not impossible to theme, but it is really unique in how it is this, an aquarium, basically like a haunted aquarium or an aquarium that's gone crazy, dilapidated aquarium, whatever you want to call it. So before the lights and sound here, you can see this when it's lit up. This rotates, which we'll show in a moment, but this looks like frosted glass here. Just so nice. I mean, the detail is great. I love the piece. Good size too as well. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's show you what it looks like lit up. Absolutely gorgeous. This piece, again, the uniqueness of this isn't even in just the theming of it, but you don't see a lot of pieces like this. Check out this rotating aquarium up here that has these different, these different sea life as it rotates around here. It's got the middle section, so it looks like the fish on the outside are actually swimming around, fish and other assorted creatures here. But there's also like little cracks, it looks like, in the tank, and it's frosted, so it has that appearance of like a real aquarium. The frosted at the top and the bottom, just beautiful. You have the Monsters of the Deep, the sign, which is lit up by those 3 lights that come off the top of it. The sign looks awesome. It's like an acrylic with a decal on the outside. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love how it's lit up there. And then the tank with the octopus, it just looks, I mean, it's unreal how beautiful this piece looks. And it's funny because you do see some of these pieces that have the crazy lighting that, you know, kind of it goes back and forth between different ones, and it can look like a strobe or something. This one does have like the changing color effect, but it's not so crazy that it detracts from everything, or that it would, I guess, you know, really distract in a village or kind of overpower. I think this would work great just kind of sitting off where it is. I mean, it definitely attracts attention, of course, but if that strobe was so bright, it could take away from the aquarium in the corner, and I don't think it does that. This is just like a master stroke, really, of Department 56 design or any Halloween Village design. I absolutely love the Monsters of the Deep. And there's also an internal bulb in this one. And by the way, how it lights up, it has a power supply here. You hook up to this. There's no on-off switch for this. So the light bulb inside turns on, the animation starts, and if you want to turn it off, you have to actually just unplug the piece, or you unplug the power supply. I suppose maybe a missed opportunity is no soundtrack on this. It'd be interesting what they could make, you know, probably like some bubble sounds, or, you know, I don't really know. Maybe some sea creatures thrashing, you'd hear some splashing, but there is no soundtrack on this piece. But I mean, really, I don't think it detracts that much. I'm not running sound on many of these pieces, but it would be cool to have that. This piece, for a lot of reasons, is highly desirable and highly collectible. Any more of these things, you know, whether you get them at auction or if you get them, you know, you find a seller for it, it seems like everybody knows what this piece is now. And, you know, we talk about coupons and other things like when we're buying at Michael's, you know, this season, and there are no coupons for this bad boy. It normally goes upwards of $200, and really it can vary from there. If you find a seller, sometimes you get a really good deal. You can maybe get it for less, but any more, 200 and up is typically where this piece goes. I do think it's worth it, though. This is one of the, I mean, it's one of my unicorn pieces, but it's also, I know out there, it's got a heck of a reputation in the collecting community. I remember when I first saw this, actually, whenever I was getting into villaging, and, you know, like many of you, you see pictures or you see videos of these villages in action, and you can see what the piece is, but you don't know what the name of it is. And I didn't know what the name of this was for a while whenever I started villaging. I just knew it was this cool aquarium. Then I finally saw it, and then it kind of broke my heart when I saw how limited it was. And I guess I should say, too, that it doesn't come with the set, but there is figurine. I have a picture of it here that I've put up that actually does go with this. It's this guy who's, you know, I guess he's going to feed everything. He's kind of got the chum bucket there. Love this. If you can add it to your collection, you absolutely should do that, especially if you got some theming to go with it. And just, I don't know what else to say about it. It's a really cool piece. Hey, before I go, I am on Patreon, and I want to thank all my Patreon supporters so far since launching the Patreon. Big thanks to you guys. I have the link to that below here. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.